This is Dukascopy webinars. We have a team of expert analysts.
Alrighty. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Doc here from North America. All right. See now, what do we got? We have the euro up there this morning. Just checking my sound here. There, okay, I heard the sound. All right, there's the euro. Let's see what she's doing today. She is showing more and more strength, which is impressive. You can see here on J4X. And now that we're following the Hiskey-Ashkey, I think it's called. Right there. Let's just, yeah, there's Hinky-Ashy. And you can see the blues are moving up nicely. You can see it's very solid. And you see it matches up very well with a lot of our math here and confirming. In some ways, it's like putting the dots in there in some aspect. You see the red dot right there and the volatility vortex. And then it's kind of half and half. And there's no red dot in here for that one. And let's see, where's that? That's the 20th, 29th. Let's see, where does that? That is, what is that? Yep, that's the 29th. So that's cool. So really well. It's a new tool. We discovered it yesterday from some traders that have came into the website and gave us a heads up on looking at other tools. Asked me about 5 different products. I went and added this again because we have tried using this before, even in the robotic contest for J4X. So in this case here, the way Dukascopy now has it adjusted, it is matching up onto the chart itself, which is really interesting instead of that cloud thing going on. And I like that. And so there we are. And so what we see there now is that it's a good way of keeping you in the trend when using J4X. When you don't have a chance to see Doc's work, at least you have a chance to see this in a public arena. So it works out very well. So I think it matches up like right to there. So that's the top in there, and you see our red dots, and you can see the pressure, and this thing is going down, and you can see the lines going down. You see we are, in this case here, we go into a daily sell, and so forth. So not bad. It's a good tool, very good tool. So we're going to, and I think we posted it yesterday as one of the best tools now we've found in the public arena. So that's pretty cool. All right, that is the euro. You can see we're in a daily buy from it for the last couple of days right there, and you can see the strength from it that day there, but we had the red and the green, or we would, sometimes we do move that over to there, but I would just leave it where it's at. It's just as fine the other way right there. You see the same thing here. You see the strength. It kicked up 3 days ago or 2 days ago. This is today, and we are on our 4th day here. Is that where we're on the 4th day? 3rd day. Line 14. We are in the 3rd day, just like that. So there we are. And we are eight weeks now in a weekly buy from back in here since this low of the 109 area. Let me think now. What does 54 have? 54 has a synthetic, short calls, long puts. A synthetic short on right now. So that could be a little of a challenge. His deltas are probably moving a little out of the whack. I think I suggested before when we were in that when we were getting into the daily buy before to sell some puts against the long put, and you can sell some calls against the long call, and then just turn it into a straddle for the time being until it moves back into that negative factor that they're looking for there, or 54 is looking for. Unfortunately, it's still in a weekly buy, so the power is on the upside, and you can see it right. Let's see if we can do this. Tighten it up just a little bit. So it's been in a weekly buy here. So it's just constantly finding ways to go up more than down. All right. Where do we head from here? Let's go to the cable and see what the cable looks like in here. And you can see on the spreadsheet, Let's see, right, cable, right there. You can see on the, there we are. You can see right there, and on the spreadsheet, line 13. You know, we're 1 week in a sell, 2 days in a sell, and today it is popping up. You can see it's trying to get back up in there. You can see, is this it? Let's put it up on our J4X, and let's put it up on the Chicago Quant. So you see here, yeah, it's trying to aim down, and in our case, you can see ours was aiming down. It's curving up already, and you can see the weekly has already pierced the 0 line, so it's trying to get back into the plus after these weeks of a buy. From here, it went to a sell in here. We fell down a few days, and now we're climbing back up again. So if it closes in a daily buy today, and it's sitting just right on it, you can see it's just a minus 0.0034. So just on that edge, and minus 0.00067. So 0.00033 and 67 at the moment. Just on the edge there. And we'll see what happens if we can get a little bit more strength in this product, maybe take out that high and get it to go. This thing's doing the same exact thing. You can see a nice big blue. And these lines are still kind of turning down and not as much. We'd like to see them pierce the slow-moving stochastic there. And that is where we are at. Now, let's drift over to, what else do we say about the cable? Do we have any questions? Nobody has any questions or answers or ideas or suggestions? We're just kind of cruising along here on a Happy to Hump Day. Today is Wednesday. Happy the Hump Day. All right. So, let's see. Let's go back to there. Amazing. I have a video of Joe Biden saying he was being interviewed, I think it was this morning, and he said that he was going to beat Joe. I'm going to beat Joe Biden. I don't know what that means. He's been saying stuff like that all his life. He's a strange guy. It really says a lot about what this election is going to be about. There we go. Joe Biden said he is going to beat Joe Biden and did not say anything about that. He just left it as it was. Okay. Let's jump over to Turkish lira. I saw where they had all this flooding in Turkey right there. So they have some things going on. Let's see how the currency's doing. This thing has been in such a flat line. A little pressure on it this morning, you can see. Let's put it up over here too at the same time. Yeah, see, it's got that upwardly sloped more than ever now. And we're in a daily buy right there. You can see that. You see right there, it's just marching up slow and steady. Marching up slow and steady. Let's see if we do this. I like that. If we could put both of those on there relatively like that, that would be nice. And so you can see the action in Turkey, even with a natural disaster, it doesn't seem to have any effect on the currency, which again, I'm sure that story is going to be very interesting when it finally all comes out. We watched the Turkish lira. What we saw was with the Turkish lira about a year and a half ago was that the son-in-law of the president, President Erdogan, became head of named head of the sovereign fund. And a combination of spending all the money, or a lot of the money, or all the money in the sovereign fund, I think it was all the money, and combine that with borrowing and faking that they had larger reserves when they had no reserves now. They'd burned them all up. They had knocked the Turkish lira back down to the 5 handle. And got into the 5s, and before you knew it, once that news came out, it took about 6-7 months for it to come out. Once it did, it just leaped up, and that was. Let me see if we can show you that. going back. And so what they did is they drove it down into the fives down in here over this time period. And then I guess it was down here, we go down to 5, trying to go after the 4s, I guess, and trying to get it back in. They used all their capital, and now you can see it's made new highs. And so I'm sure it'll be a story for this thing. I don't know what it is, but we will see it. You know, maybe they grabbed a lot of the Libyan gold. Maybe that's why maybe how did they pay for the 10,000 mercenaries they have there? They must be buying their currency and they paying their mercenaries, I guess. I don't know. Anything's possible. I'm sure it'll be a fascinating story that comes out. And we're not hearing the story. They turned their guns on another NATO country, France, and on their boats, and no one really talks about it. They're not really having that conversation. So we'll find out. It'll happen as time goes on. We'll find out what the real story is. The only thing we can say is that the math is always ahead of the, price is always ahead of news, and our math chases the price. It doesn't chase the news. So it's going to be a very interesting story, whatever that is. I'm sure it'll come out. We'll see it, and it will be like, wow, that's what was happening during that time period. And everybody will be like, oh wow, did they do something brilliant or did they do something foolish? We'll find out. More than likely, they're propping it. Somehow or another, I don't know who it is. If it's the central banks of the world, or and that could be. Maybe they're trying to make a deal with Turkey. Maybe they're trying to get Turkey in line again. Get them like part of the Western communities. I don't know. Maybe it's something like. Maybe it is as simple as that. Maybe the central banks are holding it flat now, and they're saying, look, we're going to hold your currency flat. You need to start backing off from what you've been doing. Oh, look at that. U.S. imports jump most in 8 years. How about the imports? There you go. That makes sense. I wonder what that's doing to the stock market. Let's take a look and see. Let's go down and look at the Dow or the S&P. There's the S&P, right? There's the Dow and there's the S&P. Well, it says it's heading up more. Let's see. Excuse me. Yeah, it looks like it's at the highs of the going to take out these highs here, and let's see what the Dow Jones Industrial Average is doing. The Dow's over 2,700 now. So it's going after that area there, but it hasn't taken out this high. And let's see what the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq probably it seems to be back in filling. After that mad rush, you can see that there's a little minus going on there. They've lost their momentum, I guess. We see some of the stocks in it have just gone through the roof. I mean, through the roof. And so, it basically is, digestion. There we go. Hey, Robin. Yes. Yeah. Matter of fact, I not only did I hear it, I posted the video. You want to see it? He's a funny guy. Oh my God. I think you'll be able to hear it too. He's a funny guy. I mean, he's so strange. Let's see if we put it on. I'm going to put it on here. He is so strange. And, luckily he's got the media 100% behind him. So, yeah, he can say all kinds of stupid things and no one's even going to know about it. It's a fun, like I said, he's a funny guy. He's always said stupid things. Remember, he got bounced out of one presidential election year. He really took it on the chin. He was copying his speeches off of Neil Kinnock or something like that, and so he, here it is. I posted it a couple times. Let's put it up on the screen here. It's the funniest thing. He is a strange bug. Here we go. You'll hear it now.
Joe Biden at my record. The fact is that some areas that I think, for example, I think healthcare is a right, not a privilege. I do not support Medicare for all.
Say you're going to govern as a progressive and enact programs in the mold of Sanders and Warren. So what does that say to either moderate Democrats or independents or even Republicans dissatisfied with President Trump?
I'm prepared to say that I have a record of over 40 years and that I'm going to beat Joe Biden. Look at my record.
Is he a character or what? Oh my God, this is going to be so fun. This kind of reminds me of McGovern and Nixon. And nobody wanted to vote for Nixon. But more than that is that nobody did vote for McGovern. So McGovern lost 49 out of 50 states. And so, and you know, the media hated Nixon. So it's going to be fun. I figured that Trump wins in a big landslide. You know, he wins more electoral college votes than he did before. Picks up the House of Representatives, picks up a few senatorial seats, and then we get back onto the financial agenda that he was on, and the country grows even stronger. I guess just the whole idea, eight-year imports. We should take a look at that. Really, here it is right there. Let's put that up on the screen. That one right there. Yeah, there we are. So U.S. imports jumped most in 8 years. Oh, that's pretty cool. You know, maybe it's because you know, we're starting to manufacture. Wait a minute. Imports. So things are coming. So import-export prices were so it's not the manufacturing doing it. Deflationary impulse caused by global pandemic lockdown in June. Okay, so our industries are quiet at the moment, and so because of the lockdown. And then here's an interesting chart. There's 215, and there's 220, and import prices, and I guess that's a positive thing somewhere along the line. So made the markets go up even stronger. Yeah. How do you like that one? Is that crazy? Is he funny or what? He is a funny guy. He really is. Kind of like a crook, like a funny criminal. But, you know, we'll see how it all plays out. But like I said, it reminds me of McGovern-Nixon. Everybody hated Nixon. Nobody wanted to vote for Nixon. Even my friends that were Democrats in '72 didn't want to vote for Nixon. They didn't vote for Nixon. I have to run out for a bit. Okay. Catch you in a little bit. So, yeah, it's probably going to be something like that, you know. You know, the Trumpy, you know, and the markets will start to interpret that. You would think they would sell dollars, right, and buy, you know, in other words, maybe the dollar. I guess the dollar might get pressured from that again, right? Now we did see. Let's take a look at that. Let's go to the spreadsheet. Dun, 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 dun. The check, the spread. How do I have it labeled as? I have it as the fact check Excel sheet. That's what it is. Let's go take a look at that, and you can see the dollar index did slide into. Where is it at? The dollar ETF went into a weekly buy last week, and I think we looked at that, and it was leaning down now, as much as it went into a buy. So I guess they're going to try to correct it a little bit, and then maybe it'll start to take it up more right there. Oh, look at that. It's even trying to break into the weekly sell. You can see the daily has been rolling over. So went into the daily sell there yesterday. And you can see it rolled up. And you can see it rolled over. You know, today it broke down more, seeing the strength in the other pairs trades. That's why we don't really watch the indices itself. We watch, you know, all the other products. We look at. I always say we're Eurocentric, in the sense of the way we look at markets. We try to look at all the currencies in as if we're trading from outside the United States, not inside the United States. So, and So that would make some sense there. We'll see how that plays out. All right, now let's see what else do we've got to go here today. Like I said, we'll find out what that story is with Turkish lira sooner or later. That's for sure. All right, now let's take a look at the Canadian. See what the Canadian's up to. Well, it's thinking away for a second here. There we go. Dollar CAD right there. Ooh, a little pressure on that baby, huh? See how the Chicago Quant is doing. There it is right there. It's rolling over too. And we're starting to get a red here. We're seeing these things topping out. And same thing here. You see we've slid underneath the daily sell. We've got a red dot. And it's nice how this there it is. It's about 80% correlating to the dots, so that's really good. I like that. It's very good. Yeah, that's not bad. You know, it correlates there, breaks down here. We didn't get those blues until over here. I guess we got a green, and then from there, you can see no, that doesn't match up, but we have to that's not going back far enough. I think what that is from here to there is this to there. That's what that is. Okay, that's what we're looking at there. So you got a lot more blues there, and we're like 3 days in a red, and that just does 2, and then zigzags again. There's 2, and there's 2. And you get that white. So yeah, I guess if you work at it long enough and look at it to our dots, it'll be a definite confirming type of structure there. So that's pretty cool. All right, now so Canadian is trying to roll over. I finally saw the story. What's going on in Canada? That WE, I guess there's a controversy going on with some type of organization called WE, and Trudeau. So I saw this morning he admitted to something. I tried not to pay attention to it. I didn't, I don't care. I want to follow the prices. I don't really care following the story. The stories are just kind of fun to try to match to the price action. We see this action ahead of the stories, then the stories come out, and then it's like all done and over with. So it's always fun to try to figure out what is going on, just like the Turkish lira thing. And you know what? As I was saying earlier, it literally could be that the Western banks, the Western central banks, have said to Turkey, look, we'll help stabilize your currency. You slowly back away from all the crazy shit you're doing. And can I say that out loud? Crazy stuff you're doing. And maybe we'll do it for like 3 months. And then maybe what we'll see is, Turkey, like 2 or 3 months from now, start to back away a little bit from this and it'll back away a little bit from that and so forth. Because obviously something's going on. Who has the power more than anybody else but the central banks to freeze that currency like it is now? Because it is locked. I mean, it's like locked. It is not going anywhere. So there must be, like I said, I don't think they would have to have found all the gold in Libya to be able to afford to keep it like that. And even then, more than likely, participants would be like, running all over the place. They'd be like trying to cash out. But due to the fact that the product is frozen now like that and locked in a range, it probably says to me that what we're really seeing is that exact thing. We are starting to see some courting by the Western governments to try to bring Turkey back into the fold on some level. I think that's the answer to it all. So, alrighty. Let's see where we at. So we just finished CAD. Let's take a look at the Swiss. There are no questions. Boy, yesterday the questions brought value. I mean, really brought value. This new indicator is very insightful. Very insightful. I wonder if I could change that to green. Let's see. clone indicator, copy indicator, move indicator, restore, arrange, move, edit indicator. Let's see if we can do that. I like that. There we go. There we go. So it's like our greens and reds. That's better. And you can see that. That matches up a little bit better. I like that. Nice. All right. So you can see here from the red and the green. Right now we've got some reds going on in here when it comes to the Swiss. Let's take a look at the Swiss and see what they're doing in Chicago Quant. Let's see, right there. So, let's see, went into the sell yesterday there. So we're on a second day of a sell. Cancel. Let's get that reddish. Oh, we didn't even put the buy in there. There's the buy. And then we're back into the sell yesterday. There we are. So we're on our second day now. And you can see here, same situation. It's turned to red. This is moving up. Ours is trying to move up also. You can see that, but it's coming down from a little bit higher point there. This is trying to tell us there's more strength coming in. We'll see. We'll see if it matches up as time goes on. And that is the Swiss. And let's see it on the line 21, right? Yeah, so 7 weeks in a sell, 1 day in a sell. And that's where the pressure is. And the weekly doesn't even seem to be remotely trying to lift up in here. All right, that's pretty good. What a quiet day, huh? It's happy to hump day. Everybody's thinking, okay, weekend is when is that weekend coming, right? All right. Now let's drift over to, let's see what the yen's doing. We haven't seen the yen in a couple days. Right there. There's the yen. Up on the spreadsheet, the fact check spreadsheet right there, you can see we are 4 weeks in a sell and 3 days in a buy. Now you can see here this didn't catch the buy. There's a rarity, right? Let's see if we can find the window and get that in there. Because the two of them have been matching up very well. Wait a minute. How is this in a buy? So what is that? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 days in a sell. How do I have... What did I click on that did that wrong? Let's see. Where's that at? That's 9 days. There we are. Also, I did notice something on my spreadsheet. One of them was trying to go over, but I don't know what the problem is there. But you can see it here from the chart itself. It's been in a sell and it's not coming out of it. And so let me just make sure. Let's just double check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 9 days. And this is going on the 10th day and it's breaking down again. I guess it's not going anywhere particular, but how did I end up having a 3 in there? I know we hadn't looked at it since last week. So you can see here 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can see it tried to pop up a little bit in here. And you can see the line, the fast moving stochastic is matching up to that pretty well. And so there we are. Interesting. All right, so this basically this thing here is trying to basically go sideways down. I guess that's the best way to describe it. You know, it's 4 weeks in a sell. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, so it went into the sell in here. I guess it was right here. It went into the sell, sold down to here, ran up to there, and it's coming back down again. I guess it's just not that interested in climbing. But again, this is that time of the year. I think this is the first time I've warned everybody for the day in this webinar. I think Joe Biden had me falling on the floor. He did that, I think it was yesterday. I think he had me falling on the floor from that. It's like, oh my God, he's going to beat Joe Biden. Yeah, I guess he is. I don't know. Shoo. Sounds like I said, it kind of reminds me of McGovern Nixon. Nixon McGovern. It could be, in modern terms, it could be a lot like it. I doubt he'll lose 49 states. He's going to win California. Can you imagine that? McGovern lost California in 72. I mean, he was a professed socialist. And, all the policies of AOC and Biden and Sanders and so forth and Warren, that was McGovern. Years later, McGovern, after he retired, he was a senator for the state of Massachusetts, and in the U.S. Senate, and he basically, what did he do? He opened up a bed and breakfast. I think it was. He opened up a bed and breakfast in Vermont or New Hampshire or something like that, or might have been in Massachusetts even. And he went out of business. And he wrote this Wall Street Journal article apologizing for all his socialist policies and his taxations. And this was about a decade and a half later. It was in the 80s. I guess it was like 1986, 87, something like that. And he apologized for all his philosophy. And he reneged everything he believed in for most of his political career. And so I thought that was interesting. I doubt that Joe Biden at this point is too old for that. He doesn't even know who he's running against. He thinks he's running against himself. And he's done lots of those things, but the media won't show those on the front page of the newspaper or on the major networks. You're not going to see that type of stuff like we just showed you. But it is what it is. It's a strange story in the financial markets. Sometimes like Joe Kernan will report the news. The rest of them don't. You won't see it on Bloomberg. I can guarantee you that. They would cut that in a heartbeat. So in the end result is that McGovern apologized for all his socialist policies and taxations because he went out of business. He lost his bed and breakfast. The taxes and all the rules and regulations buried him. And he actually did two editorials, one an article and an actual editorial in the Wall Street Journal about it. But you won't see that. And I doubt Warren will ever do that. And I can't even imagine Sanders ever doing that. I can't even imagine Joe Biden even knowing that he's doing that. Joe Biden may not know Joe Biden is there. He may be so off the rails at this point that he really doesn't know. So, because I've heard him say some really outlandish stuff. So, there's some real problems there for him. So anyway, there it is with the yen. Like I said, I'm a little surprised. Our number was way off. Like, I guess might have been the 3 above from ruble. I don't know. I don't know where that came from. So, all right. Let's jump over to. We'll take a look at. Usually we look at oil when we look at the CAD. Now the CAD is moving down, but we'll go to NASCAD and look at that, and then we'll go to oil and take a peek at that. NASCAD right there. There we go. Now you can see NASCAD is moving up, and I know that we went into a daily buy there yesterday, and we're 10 weeks in a buy right there. And you can see NASCAD has been very strong. You can see it's breaking down here at the moment. Where are we on the spreadsheet? I think it went into a sell yesterday, didn't it? Yeah, it's been in a sell for 2 days. Let's take a look at it in our work. Let's go to the Chicago Quant. Right. Where's that? Right there. And you can see the pressure is still on it. Right there. You can see that. And it's doing the same thing here. We're generating red there. Same thing here. Only thing is we're getting a volatility indication right here with the red and the green. And we'll see how, it's still below the daily buy number at the moment. And we'll see how this rolls along. You see our little bounce. This will take a little bit. Maybe it'll start to bounce up. But all three are trying to aim down at the moment. You can see the week has no issue whatsoever there, matching up to oil. Now what we'll do is we'll slide over to oil. And that would kind of justify the strength in Canadian today. You know, when the Canadian goes down in price, it means it's becoming stronger, just like the way the Swiss franc is. Let's see, where's it at? Right there. Oop, that's gas something. Nope, right there. There we are. And so you can see crude oil is over $40 again. I thought we might see 35, 36. Someone was asking about that last week. What did we get down to? 37 maybe? I think we barely got to 38. We got just a, you know, it didn't do that. So you can see here it's trying to firm up, trying to lift. We came in a green there already. This is starting to join in now. We're heading for our second day in a buy. And you can see this thing's been running hot, steady, and straight for, let's see, for all these weeks. You can see that. And we've been in a weekly buy for 10 weeks there, right there. And that's what's always fun about having the fact check sheet up there. Nothing. Nobody's asking any questions. Does anybody want to see any particular product? You know, anything. Silver's been kind of curious. Why don't I show you silver? Silver has caught my eye because we really do think that Robin and I have been talking about that. We really think this silver wants to try to take off, and the only sellers we're figuring that's doing any selling has got to be the central banks. And you can see here in spot is trading at 1930ish, was higher. You can see that was up to 37. And you can see all the greens. And let's put silver up there. Oh, it's already up there. Okay. Yeah, you see that? It's set up to close in the buy yesterday. And now we've confirmed it totally. So we're moving along really well. And let's see, where's the mouse here? So there's that. Let's move that out of the way like that. And so in this case here, look at all that green. You know, a lot of green there. We've gone in and out with the, you know, we're much more delicate. But, you know, overall, this thing is telling us the true trend is up. Now, where is our chart? Where's our... I'm confused. What happened to that? How did we lose the bottom of our chart? Let's see. Let's go back to the currency. It was in the currency. What did we do? We lost our indicator on the bottom. Let's see. Let's go look and see. Let's see. How did we lose that? Where's it at? We'll find it in a second. I think we have to make it bigger. Recent indicators. Where is that? There's that. How did we lose? Oh, I see what it's doing. No, I don't see what it's doing. Let's see. Let's try one more of those. It's like we lost the bottom box or something like that. Now where oh, did we knock it down? Let's see. How did we lose that? That? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. So we can do that now. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And you know what? In a lot of ways, we'll get rid of that too up on there. Let's see. How do we get rid of that? Well, we'll just leave it up there. That doesn't bother me any. There we go. All right, so let's see. Let's go back to silver, right there. There you go, and you can see this thing has been dragging hard and fast, staying well above the rate of change, staying above the what do you call it? That the slow-moving Stoch, and really showing a lot of that strength that's there. And we wrote an article about it a week ago, and the product was, I guess, about 50 cents lower, maybe even more. And so, you know, what we're really we think that if the central banks, oh, there we go, hey, Quad Z, sand castles become dunes eventually, law of entropy. You know, it's funny you mentioned that, because I was theorizing about the law of entropy yesterday afternoon about something. Maybe it was yesterday morning, actually. Yesterday morning I was theorizing entropy. Don't ask me why. I can't remember now. It was something to do with, I think it was about computer chips or something like that. I was thinking about something about that. I was reading something about a new computer chip, and I was thinking about the entropy, how it reduces itself in action over time. But anyway, that's a really good point there, Quad Z. Very good. Sandcastles become dunes. Eventually, law of entropy. Yes. Yes. Well, I mean, the law of entropy is natural. You know, I mean, everything's trying to come to a steady state and still, right? You know, less energy. You know, that type of thing. Unless you're in those other dimensions that Witten and Susskind come up with. You know, when you get past the fourth dimension and go into the fifth dimension and the sixth dimension and the seventh, they probably fight with each other on their entropies. You should work on that one when it comes to their Lorenz viewing. All right. Is that any particular subject you're aiming at, or just thought you'd just throw that out there to get me to do a little physics? I'll take the latter part. I'd rather do a little physics. That's always cool. This morning, who was I battling with? Someone was trying to say that the sun is not an electrical process and it's fake. And I came back with my answer that I gave you. And I said, yes, you obviously need, math is king, and that you need 11 dimensions, what Witten and Susskind, to prove that the sun is not electric, because you can't accept the sun in 3 dimensions. How could you think of the sun as in 3 dimensions when you obviously go with the side of science that has to believe that it's really in 11 dimensions, right? I mean, that's string theory and that's atomic theory. So if the sun is not an electrical process and the sun is an atomic process, then that means it's in 11 different dimensions. So that is you must have been like looking at my Facebook and me chatting away, and I forget which one it was. Let's see which one it was. It was in we'll find it. It was in, I think it was physics and philosophy. Might have been physics and philosophy. Let's see, what was physics and philosophy, where they have Feynman. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't in physics and philosophy. It was in, we'll find it. Physics and philosophy has gotten a little weird lately. Electric universe theory. That's what it was in. Electric universe theory. So, cool. What else do we got brewing here? So there's our Silverado. And we just keep on watching it. And like I said to Robin yesterday, the only reason I think it goes down is on any given day is because I think the central banks are selling it. You know, like they're selling dollars right now. So they need to do something. That's one of the only ways they can. They use alternatives to the dollar itself. Anything that's denominated in dollars, they'll sell against it. So it makes them short dollars. All right. Where do we go from here? Let's take a look at gold. And that is line 6 right there. 5 weeks in a buy, 3 days in a sell. Maybe it was gold. I don't know how that Japanese yen had a 3 in a buy. Now let's take a look at it here. It's still green and still climbing. Over on our Chicago Quant, let's see, gold. Goldalaya. A lot of red dots on ours. Sometimes it doesn't match. In this case, it's giving all that green. And we've been in a sell for a few days. You see from here, right there, hasn't really gone anywhere. I mean, it did go down, and it is below where it went into the sell, but it's not doing anything too exciting. You can see the weekly is not getting pressed down. That's curious. And we've been in a buy, what, 5 weeks? Yeah, 5 weeks. Since all the way back in here somewhere, right? If that's going on 29 weeks, that'd be 24 weeks, right? In here. So we've been in a buy since back in here. And there it is right there. It went into the sell. I think we were like 10 weeks in a buy. And then we went into a sell for a week. And then we went back into the buy again. So that's the action in gold. ACTION. Action, gold. All right. Did we look at crude oil? I don't think we... Yeah, I guess we did, didn't we? Yeah. Because we looked at Canadian and we looked at NASDAQ. So we did look at crude oil. All right. Now let's take a look at some of the stock indices unless someone wants to see something. We'll just follow our rhythm. Oh, I want to see copper in this. Wow, cool. You can see on, what's that, line 8. 13 weeks in a weekly buy, but 2 days in a daily sell. Let's take a look at an artwork. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, it's right here. That's where it is. Right there. Yeah, you can see it's going nowhere the last couple of days. 3 red dots. It's been breaking down, but the price hasn't really broken down. It's gone nowhere. It keeps on going up since we've gone into the sell, and then falls back down again. And the weekly's holding on really nicely. Wait a minute. How is that pink even in there? Remove. Now let's contract and get that green where it belongs. Back in there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's 11 weeks, not 13 weeks. Maybe, oh no, that's the wrong product there. Right there, 11 weeks. I think it has something to do with the switch of contracts or something like that. There we go. There we are. Let's do a save there. Save. We can do this again. Save. There we go. All right. Now, where was I heading? Oh, yeah, stock indices. Let's go check out the stock indices. Because I don't see any questions. Or statements. I like the statement, though. That's pretty cool. Sandcastles become dunes. So they become bigger, right? I guess that's the reverse of entropy, though, isn't it? When you really think about it. So sandcastles are smaller than dunes. Right? So a sandcastle is smaller than a dune. Because someone's building a sandcastle. And eventually law of entropy. I didn't really think about it too hard. No, I don't think that has any relationship to one to the other. So, in other words, a sandcastle is something small and created by someone. And then the sand dune is displacement of material from the currents. And so it says eventually law of entropy. I guess you're saying the sand dune, the sandcastle, gets wiped away by the currents off the beach every night, and it goes up to the sand dune. Maybe that's it. I don't think that's entropy, though. I think that's just create, erosion. I think you're looking at erosion. So I don't think I would call erosion entropy, because it could take more energy to change the erosion, or you do the erosion. So entropy would be less energy. So quad Z, you got to come up with something else. But I think I understand what you're trying to say. I think you're trying to say that sandcastles on the beach become the dunes. But that has nothing to do with entropy. All right. I guess it would be like I can hear it in my head. It's like some type of going back to natural state. I guess that's where you're getting your entropy from. But it really isn't entropy, because it takes more energy to make it part of the sand dune, not less entropy. Because you're moving it. So that's, you just go F equals mx. Okay. And you go delta d1, because you're looking at dx, the second rate of change, basically. Distance, too. Okay. What are we doing here? Oh, yeah, it was copper. I want to see what the markets are doing. Let's go take a look at the stock market. See that? You threw something out there. Sooner or later, this mind will just hit it like a steel trap. Okay, there's the S&P 500 trying to go after its highs of about 6 weeks ago. You see lots of green there. You see this is trying to turn up in here. Let's take a look at it over here. Not there. Over here. And there it is. Let's move that over. It's in a daily buy from yesterday. I think it's on the spreadsheet that way too. Let's go to the fact check spread Excel sheet. Yeah, see, it's in a daily buy for 1 day. Now the Nasdaq came in a sell for 2 days, which was really curious, And you can see here it's holding on to the weekly. Well, no, you can't see. You can see here it's holding on to its weekly. It's been a little choppy in here. Now let's drift over to the Nasdaq right above it. You can see it's in a sell for a few days. You can see the pressure on it. They did lift it up, last night. You can see though it's still showing that, but it's still in a weekly buy right there. And at the same time, let's put that on there. This is the Tech 100, which is really cool. I like the Dukascopy name for it better than what we have over here in the States. And you can see there, it is heading down. It's trying to head down, and it did go into a red yesterday. We have been in a red for a few days. Right there on a third red dot. So this will join in, I think. Maybe the green will disappear, or it's picking up that very mild strength, All right. What else do we got brewing here? I think the stock market, I see someone came out today. I think it's called mRNA. It's a pharmaceutical. And they came out with a really new, interesting way to combat the virus. What it does is it increases the T cells, and I want to call it holistic in a sense. It takes your own immune system and pumps it up. So you're not taking outside influences to, adding to your immune system. Instead, it talks to your system, and the system turns on more immunity. So you don't have the old problems you had back in the 60s and 70s where they tried to pump up your immune system, and you could have bad effects from it. And so for fighting viruses and so forth, and it's a new way of doing things. And at the same time, they have a study of 45 people, and the 45 people all have responded very positively. So, in the age group is something like 18 to 55 or 25 to 55 or something like that. So, it's very positive there. So that has put strength into the stock markets, minus the tech sector, because the tech sector has been riding very high on the idea that people are going to be more remote and more technology and all those other things. So that's probably why we're seeing a little relaxation in the Nasdaq. But then again, it's only 2 days off its all-time high. So I mean, it should correct a little bit. I mean, that is natural. Whereas the S&P is about 4% from its all-time highs of February. And the Dow Jones Industrial Average is about the same. I guess it's like about 8%, 7% from all-time highs, something like that. And so, let's see, 10% would be 2,700 points, right? Yeah. So it's like probably 9 point something. So, that is what we're seeing here, is we're feeling the effects of all that. So now, what were we going to call this today? Let's see. We have to come up with a title for this. Does anybody have an idea what we should call this particular webinar? It was a good webinar. What did we do? It was a quiet webinar. We have to figure out what we can use as a title. What did we talk about besides entropy? We talked about stock indices. We looked at the currencies, Turkish lira. How about midweek look of technicals. How about if we call it that and see what they do there? Midweek look of technicals. I think that makes sense, doesn't it? And that seemed like what we really did. All right, anyway, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all my trading friends.